place, and it's changing the way that people are interacting. I mean, just today, I was actually going to shake hands with a customer, and she gave me an elbow. Even dealing with Tony or other people at the dealership, everybody's not even the fist bump was more like, yeah, I'm trying to keep it clean. Boom, here's the fist bump. It's turning into elbows. We just, hey, how are you doing?
I mean, I sign obviously everybody, and truthfully, so far it's been handshakes. But in the back of my head, I hate to admit it, I was like, should I be shaking their hands? Now, I immediately do wash my hands when I'm done.
Immediately.
I even lice on my table.
See you guys in a minute.
And I'm doing it for not just for me, but I'm doing it for my guests, because everybody sits down. I want them to have the cleanest, absolute, most sterile environment.
We're going to have to get shorter tables. I mean, look, come here. Say hello at elbow. Hey,
yeah.
How you doing? Way different, way different. It's a little bit more of a stretch.
Or, how about the forearm? I think the forearm is the way to go. It's longer.
Like a knight.
Yeah, it's longer, it's easier, and you're just hitting right here, boom. And I think that's the instead of the elbow, the forearm.
You guys, that's just started right here.
The forearm.
The forearm.
Get it.
Wow.
It gives you the distance, but yet it's not too close.
I'm really blown away right now with the forearm thing. I'm really, oh, snap. Okay, all right. Anyway, focus, right? Mm-hmm. Focus. Focusing on the actual fresh news that is going on outside of the coronavirus, trying to tell everybody what to think, what to do, where to be.
It has put the whole nation on like lockdown almost. You have our public schools local this is the first day we got these phone calls. They're talking about, hey, be aware that the government might be causing some shutdowns. Trump today, and today is the actual day we're recording this is 3/12/2020. Trump.
My wife's birthday.
Yep. Oh, well,
Happy
man,
birthday,
gosh
Tiff.
bless America. I didn't know it was her birthday.
Yeah.
Was it not on social media or anywhere?
It's today.
Oh, it is now. Official.
It is today.
Happy birthday, Tiff.
Happy birthday, baby.
Love you, girl. So, that being said, happy birthday to her. But on the 11th, actually, Trump came out today, and he did a huge, I don't know if you saw it. I know you were busy working. I saw it. Just happened to.
I didn't get to see it.
I caught the very end of it, and he talked about us starting Friday at midnight, no longer able to travel international to Europe. So she's stomping all those flights from coming in and out.
Coming in from Europe and going back out. Right?
Yeah, so that being said, he's suspending travel, which is probably smart. And also he says that he's going to be looking to try to help with, there's no copay for anybody. If you want to go in and get checked if you have symptoms, just go in for your health insurance. And he's talking about a payroll tax, not charging payroll tax, whatever that is.
So there's 12% in payroll tax or a certain percentage. I think it's different depending on what bracket you sit in. I'm not positive on it. I'm not the tax guy. But that percentage is matched by the company, which is a requirement by law for that employee. So
that's pretty cool.
That
if it's 12%
forgiven, that's a 12% increase to everybody's income.
I know that would be wonderful in my world.
If it's that much, I mean, again, check with your tax people. Find out what that means. But basically, compare your checks side by side.
It's not official yet, and it might be official as of 3/12 today. He's supposed to talk about it again today. But it's definitely crazy, and it's really something that literally, I hate to talk about it even more, but my wife had been talking about this stuff for almost a month now. And I remember when she first mentioned this, I was like, fake news. I said, come on, fish market in China?
You're kidding me.
Get out of here.
Get out of
Somebody
here.
got sick and threw up. I said, somebody's over there putting like face masks on and just acting like this. And she's like, no, Fred, it's for real. It's coming and it's going to be here. And we just got to be careful.
Be ready for it.
And another week goes by, I hear about more, and she goes, right, there's a case in the United States now. I was like,
just so you know.
I was like, fake news.
Told you it was coming.
And then she's like, there's a case in Kentucky now. I was like, fake news. And then I said, oh, where's it at? They said Lexington. I said, right. So, but everybody in Lexington's hearing news that it's in Louisville. Fake news. So it keeps going, and every day I wake up, it's like an extra couple more people. Next thing you know, I'm like looking across the map now. If you can literally, if I go back and look at the last 7 days of like coronavirus map where it's at in the United States, it's pretty like whoa. So, you know,
Pull that up. Take a look at where it is right now. Hopefully we have a little thing maybe right here
yeah,
in this section.
somewhere here. I don't know. If we can get
For
that
you
in
to
there,
see
we're
that.
going to try for real. Peep it.
The map.
But
The map.
yeah, it's like it went from having like, it's like somebody getting their first pimple to like being,
Fully blown out.
oh man, it's kind of weird. But that being said, it's you know, from what I understand, and I don't know this, I'm not a doctor, and I actually honestly don't really try to pay attention to the news that much when it comes to that, and I probably should, but I don't, because I don't like to get into the negative about the world. But the it's really it's harsh for some people more than others. Asthma, people with weaker lungs, they're going to have issues with this. So you gotta be careful. I know you have. Do you have asthma? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just be careful. I know my brother does too. But if you're healthier than the average person, it's definitely awesome. If you're younger than, you know, I know it's worse for older people. That's why they don't want you to go to like nursing homes right now. They don't want you to go to retirement villages and places like that because they don't want you to go in and infect them.
Right. I mean, the people that are vulnerable and compromised immune system, you know, it's still has a ridiculously low mortality rate, even for those that do get it. But either way, media has gone over and above in making sure to put the news out there, and I can understand the concern that anybody of an official position has to be in is if you never want to be the guy that didn't do enough. You know what I mean? That didn't try, didn't.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, and
you know what I mean.
I'm not going to talk about. I don't like to talk about politics on this show. That's not what the show's about.
Not at all.
So, but what I can tell you though, man, and I'm not saying I'm a supporter or non-supporter, but man, did he act really fast, and I think to the good. I think that what he's deciding to do right now is a smart thing to try to lessen the pandemic that's going on. So. Hey, man, respect to him for that. I respect that he made a command decision, say, let's do this, we're doing this, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen very fast. It's good. So it's huge. So huge. So I respect that about him, no joke, man. And so that's kudos to him for doing, whether it's, you know,
his number one job is to protect us.
And he's trying to, 100% he is trying, and I could tell. So he's trying to. He's actually just trying to keep people calm and understand, hey, we are understanding. It is important. I get it. We're going to jump on it, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure this doesn't get any worse. Right. And good news is you're in America.
Right.
And I love how he mentions, though, this virus that started in China. And he said it really deep to China. Not the United States. It originated in China. Okay? So we'll take care of it. So he will, and he's right. And it will be. That's the beauty about today's medicine. You know, a pandemic like this, even 100 years ago, would have been horrible. That's also the bad thing about what's going on now. Travel is so easy now to get from one place to another within, you know, a handful of hours. You could be on another side of the world and brought a disease with you that you didn't know you had, and then you spread it, and then it's so hard to contain that. You know, how do you stop that? And how do you tell somebody you cannot travel when they don't have any symptoms? You know, so
I mean, there was screenings that were happening coming into and Ellis Island and into any ports into the nation. There used to be like extensive vetting that occurred. Then the difference with that and what's happening now is just the sheer exposure that the word has out on it. Right. I think a lot of people may have had coronavirus and they didn't know what to call it. I don't know how many of you have been out there that have ever been diagnosed with anything that was considered a viral infection and it needs to run its course. And that was about as much information as you got. We can't quite tell what it is. It's kind of like the flu, but not quite the flu. And it's viral and it's just going to run its course. Yeah. You know, and then you leave like, yeah, it's viral. And that's it, you're done. And all you know is that it's viral. It's going to run its course. Okay, but what? You know what I mean? What was it that I had? Oh, you had the coronavirus and you didn't know it, you know? And that's what I think is the case for many people. You know, they actually had it and didn't even know that they had it. But it's also just now getting such crazy exposure.
It is. And, you know, and I think that it's a little too much. The disease is, or the virus is it sucks, and I'm not trying to underplay, and I understand that it can really damage somebody and possibly they can die from it, which there's been cases of deaths already, lots of them, hundreds of them, maybe thousands now. But, you know, not to underplay it, but, you know, to go back into the car business stuff, you know, do you think it's going to affect car sales? Do you think people are going to be less likely to come into a dealership right now?
I think this is going to have a big boost to the Carvana car vending.
Segue perfectly into that, Lou.
That's what I think.
Getting ready to go into Carvana. Speaking of that, you know, not to get, you know, to get off bad news, we're going into a very hot company out there. You know, they've had their ups and downs. People are hating on it. I don't really hate on it. Whatever. I know I'm in the automotive sales business also.
That's their process.
But that's their process. They are, yes, are they my competitor? But no, they're not my competitor. I don't really look at other people as competitors. I look at them as, you know, people doing what I'm doing. There's so much opportunity for everybody that I don't really worry about. Is Carvana selling more cars than me? Because they're not. Well, probably. But I don't really care. That's not what's important. What's important is that we're all doing really good, that the car business is around for hundreds and hundreds of years, because it is a great, fun business, and it's something that I have a lot of pride of being in and being part of this big, huge family of car guys and car gals out there. You know, so anyway, Carvana, hat to you, but you're not a car guy.
Well, you don't, I mean, it's hard to have a conversation with a vending machine. But
I mean, you can if you're on the right coffee.
Yeah. If it's car guy coffee, we should make a car guy coffee car vending machine. What? That would be crazy. And it just has coffee, and then cars and coffee. Oh man,
Cars and
it's
coffee.
getting late, folks.
Hey, I'm gonna buy me a new Altima today.
And I'm gonna need a.
But I do need a large cup.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a
car
good Americano.
coffee. Yeah, please.
To come with my neon. No,
Yeah, they don't even make those anymore.
No, they don't.
They haven't in a long time.
But see, that's the thing about that stuff, is that it's harder to find that more that niche-y thing, you know, with that type of a service. Which again, I don't really know.
Some people
whole
love
model.
the service, and you know, and honestly, it's a great service for people who need the convenience, people who don't want to deal and go out. I mean, there's a lot of people who don't want to deal with people, period. Whether there's a coronavirus running around or not, they definitely just want to stay at home, or they're more introverts that want to be by themselves. And that's fine, you know, but there's a lot of people, honestly, man, I know a lot of people who buy cars because they just want to go out and be more social with people. They enjoy the whole process of getting to know somebody, kind of pulling someone's, you know, tail a little bit, messing with them, you know. They love to mess with new guys a lot. You can see that, you know, but they end up buying from the new guys quite a bit. Just because, you know, the manager ends up going in every time, but they still like doing it because they think it's neat to mess with the new guy, or even a veteran. Sometimes they like to mess with them. You know, because they bought 6 cars in their lifetime, Sonny, and I know how to do what I'm doing.
Do this.
Last time I bought one was 15 years ago, and I know what I'm doing. No, you don't, Doug. But hey, once again, to each his own. But Carvana, man. So speaking of them, before we keep going into this long talk about everything but what we're going to talk about, which is okay, man. That, you know, talk about a company that's kind of blown up, man. You know, I remember when I kind of first saw them, I think the first time I saw one of their buildings was in Nashville. I don't know if that's one of their first ones or whatever, but I remember driving down one of the highways, maybe it was 24, 65 or whatever it is, and I saw it standing there with a big glass. You could see the cars in it, I thought it was a parking garage. I was like, oh, cool. That's a unique idea for a parking garage. You go there, you park your car. They just